The neat thing with psychedelics, they take the brain to a neutral space, and they really, really work on when the brain's in that neutral space, it works on this medial frontal prefrontal cortex. And what it does is it allows the brain to be categorical again. When this data comes in, when it fragments it, the fragmentation allows us to not be emotionally connected to it, and we can be analytical and view the emotion as well as the situation. So when we view those two things, that's when we can start increasing our coping mechanisms, because we're not having an overreaction of the sympathetic nervous system making we feel we're being threatened. We're instead able to look at non-objective data that's allowing us to effectively integrate, recognize, build coping mechanisms that are actually to our benefit, not to our demise. So, long story short, medial prefrontal cortex, very important in this. And you'll see with this, there's a lot of data in this presentation. Feel free to keep the data or whatever you want to do, and go over it, because I'm not going to go over everything to this extent, or we'll be here for 12 days. Your hippocampus is another important piece, right? So it's involved in learning and memory formation, the consolidation of memories from short-term to long-term to cortical memory storage, for the role in negative feedback inhibition. So with this piece, right, we're seeing the hippocampus as well as the amygdala to have really big a really big impact. So what we want, and this is what psychedelics allow us to do, once we can see that data, this is what talk therapists try to get you to do. They try to get you to view it from a third-party perspective, right? So you don't have that emotional overconnection or the memory, or, it's just nastiness. So when the amygdala is able to allow us to look at how do we process this stuff, the amygdala will help it to go from short-term memory in your prefrontal cortex to your long-term memory. When this data is in your long-term memory, you don't feel the emotional lead of it. Instead, you can bring the memory up. You can choose to bring the memory or the emotion if you want to, but the emotion doesn't lead the context. So if you feel angry, rage, anxiety, depression, whatever, disassociation, avoidance, isolation, if you're like, why am I doing this? Recognize it's probably an emotional response.